The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
And 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we're live. Welcome to Powtoon's How to Make Branded Characters to Celebrate Diversity and Inclusion Video Skill Builder webinar. We are so excited that you're joining us today. We're going to hop right in with introductions. That's me on the right, Nick Liebman, head of content here at Powtoon. And joining me today is my co-host, Shoshi Davis, marketing manager, also at
Hello.
Powtoon. Hello, Shoshi. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me to come on this. This is very exciting.
It's very exciting, and you're not the only one here. We also have people joining us from all over the world. We had so many registrants for this webinar. People are coming on as we speak. In fact, we've already got Hisham has already given a little shout out. Hi, everyone. Yes, and if you're out there, if you can hear us, if you can see the screen, type it's right in that question box there. Say hello. Tell us your name. Tell us where you're joining us from. And tell us what you're most excited for in this webinar today. And that just really does help us know that we're coming through loud and clear, and that everything is coming off without a hitch here. Shoshi, I'm so glad you could join us today. You know, you bring a special piece of expertise to this. Not only are you a marketing maven, but you also have some expertise in industrial psychology and in the corporate world. Tell us a little bit about what you studied in graduate school.
Thanks, Nick. I did my master's degree in organizational development, so I learned how to be an organizational consultant. While I love marketing, organizational development and organizational change, and obviously today we're going to talk a lot about diversity and inclusion, but that's a big part of what I'm passionate about. So that made me very excited to be invited on and to talk a bit about that.
Very cool.
We have some amazing people coming on. We have
lots of people chiming in.
We got Todd, Carter, we got Betty's here, we have Jovi, hello.
We got
have
Geneva.
Anna from Portugal.
Geneva's joining us from the Metro Detroit area. We've got Todd from Boone, North Carolina, who's a director of development. Naya, who's joining us from Lebanon. Wow, awesome. Welcome.
Amazing.
You guys, so many people joining us. There's too many people to acknowledge. I apologize if we didn't get to you, but hang in there. You didn't come here for introductions, ladies and gentlemen. You came here to dive right in. So Shoshi, tell us, what are we in for today?
Yeah, so we have such an exciting agenda for all of you. We're so glad that you're here. Just a bit to go over what we'll be talking about, and then we'll get into the good stuff. So first and foremost, why is D&I more important than ever? We're going to go through a bit of why this is such a hot button topic right now. Next, we're going to introduce our very special guest.
Yes.
We have a surprise guest for all of you.
Special guest. I'm so excited. This is someone who's been using the character builder, who's been creating videos that emphasize diversity and inclusion. Really cool stuff, and a wonderful lady. Can't wait to meet her, but I can't tell you any more until we get to that part. So go ahead, Shoshi. Sorry, I'm interrupting. Go ahead.
That's quite all right. Then we're going to dive into the Powtoon studio, where together we are going to create diverse and inclusive characters, customizable characters. We're going to show you just how easy it is to do it yourself. You don't need a fancy agency. You don't need to pay someone, everything you got in your bank. You can make them yourself. And it's so much fun. I can't wait. I think
it's easy and it's fun. It's really awesome. So Shoshi, then after we know how to do it, then what's next?
Yeah, then we're going to run through 5 really easy ways to use characters to grab attention and promote your brand, whether that's your corporate brand, your consumer brand, your employer brand, whatever it is, whoever your audience is. We'll be talking through 5 easy ways to do just that and to really grab attention in a really personal way.
Yes,
and lastly,
there we go.
We're going to do live Q&A with all of you. I'm just seeing all your questions piling in, or greetings from Susan and others. We're so excited to have you here. We're going to hear your questions live. We're here to answer anything you may have about the character builder feature and Powtoon, and we can't wait to get into it. So without any further ado, Nick, let's jump in.
let's do. But first, Shoshi, and
But first,
ladies and gentlemen, I have a question. If you have an answer, please type it in. Shoshi, what is one of the most important topics of discussion in companies and
hmm,
organizations today? What do you guys think out there in our listening audience? And what do you think, Shoshi? What are some of what's the most important topic of discussion right now?
gosh, there's so many big topics right now happening.
Yeah, Jose
There's
is chiming in and he says COVID. Yeah, that's definitely a topic of discussion. I don't know how you could avoid it these days, but definitely COVID is on that list. What are some other things out there that are really just the topic of discussion in organizations and in companies? What do you think? We've got
oh,
Frank. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, I was gonna say we we have Susan who's saying that the biggest topic for her is climate change. She's hearing a lot about climate change and what is
Yeah.
the CSR, the corporate social responsibility that our organizations can have.
Yeah, Alicia
So
Alicia
that's for
says
sure.
Alicia says remote work. That's a huge one. That's definitely a huge one. Let's see. Guadalupe says home office. Anna says there's so many working from home, online teaching, etc. And Javelin.
Varun says promoting businesses through digital marketing.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a big thing. How can you use digital marketing to promote your business and your brand?
Absolutely. And Jovelyn, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, please forgive me. How to adapt to the new normal? But I got to be honest with you guys. I had an answer in mind here, and Elizabeth is the one who hit it. DEI,
Ding,
diversity,
ding, ding.
equity, and inclusion is a big topic for us right now. Well, Elizabeth, it's not just you. Diversity and inclusion is a major topic across the spectrum. This is just a handful of articles from recent times, but you could spend hours a day searching the internet, pulling up articles all about diversity, equity, and inclusion, how to incorporate it. We've got from Fast Company 6 ways diversity and inclusion will change this year, right? It's a living topic, ladies and gentlemen. It changes. Founder of a DEI consultancy says, get ready for a year of uncomfortable conversations, as it will be the everyday work of allies that will make the difference over the long term. Business Insider tells us your Black colleagues want you to do more when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Here's how to turn intent into action. Keep that in mind, intent into action. We're going to come back to that. But Shoshi, what is this about? Is this one industry? Is this just one kind of company?
Absolutely not. No, that we're seeing this across industries, across types of companies, startups to big corporations. We have Atlanta's sales loft hires a head of diversity and inclusion. So even startups are understanding that this is a role that needs to be played within organizations. Someone needs to own it. Someone needs to really care for it and make sure that there's a sense of belonging and representation within organizations.
Mhm.
And we're seeing that all the way to big companies like PepsiCo
Right.
um, that are reinvesting in D&I. So that's definitely huge.
And we're also seeing not only in the private sector is this a conversation, but it's a conversation for governments as well, right? Like the analysis function office over in the UK government, they've got a diversity and inclusion strategy for 21 through 2024. And of course, the newly inaugurated Biden administration in the United States, fact sheet, President Biden to take action to advance racial equality and support underserved communities now more than ever, ladies and gentlemen, because we are all stronger when there are more voices at the table, because the roadblocks are being removed for people that used to be there, because we're having a more intense conversation about diversity and inclusion. The real question is, how do you turn intent into action? And if you're a communicator, right, one of the ways you can do that is to combine diverse custom characters with a visual communication platform that has a diverse way to create videos and visual content, starting from scratch, uploading presentations, creating videos from templates that are professionally designed and easy to update. That's one of the best ways to put your money where your mouth is when it comes to diversity and inclusion. Show it. Don't just tell it, and you can do it visually. Well, ladies and gentlemen, why is it so powerful? It's something I like to call connection cues. Diverse characters are characters that will resonate with your audience. And if your audience is resonating with the characters that are telling the story, they're going to connect with that story. They're going to connect deeply with that individual piece of content. And a bonus connection cue, if you're using your brand identity, right? Your logo, the specific fonts associated with your brand, the colors, not just in the logo, but also with the character itself that you're doing, that brand identity cues your audience to connect this individual piece of content with your entire brand personality, right? So it's very,
Absolutely.
very powerful. This is my favorite part of a skill builder, of any skill builder, when we get to meet our special guest. So Holly, if you are, please unmute yourself if you're there. I wonder if I have any kind of...
Hello.
There you are.
Can you hear me?
Holly,
Hello,
she's
Holly.
Hi.
here. We hear you.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. So Holly Gaspar, environmental health safety training specialist for Otis Elevator Company. Otis, of course, one of the oldest elevator companies in the world, founded in 1853, ranked top in their industry, over 69,000 employees worldwide, and we are lucky enough to have
Unbelievable.
Holly with us today. Holly, tell us a little bit about what you do for Otis.
Okay. Well, thank you. I am the training specialist in EH&S for Otis Elevator. I support the United States, Canada, and Latin America. In the U.S. and Canada are my main group. I support over 5,000 mechanics, and then I also support their supervisors and their managers. So my focus is on refreshing, updating, and creating new training, from anything from new hire training to regulatory training.
Amazing. And so let's jump right in and talk about characters. So what was important in creating characters for the videos you make for Otis? What was important there for you? Who's your audience?
Well,
All those things.
yeah. No, I think it was really important to us as a company that our characters in the training were representative of the mechanics that are in our employ. We wanted to make sure that our characters were diverse. We wanted to make sure that we included everybody. Everybody's different. So we wanted to make sure that, first of all, our mechanics were dressed appropriately, that they had uniforms that were the brand colors, that they had their personal protective equipment that they would have to wear on the job. So helmets and safety glasses, gloves, boots, because that's one of the things that we really looked for with Powtoon, is to make sure that the people in our videos actually had the same, that look similar to the mechanics in the field. So we wanted to make sure that they had all their safety gear. We also wanted to make sure that we had a representative cross-section of our mechanics. So we looked to Powtoon and we were able to create racially diverse characters. So we could modify the body type, we could modify the face, we could modify the hair, and it was really great. So we actually were able to create character sets, so we could reuse characters, and it looked like a good character set that we could reuse. And one of the good things too is that it wasn't just male cartoon characters; it was also female cartoon characters, because we do have quite a few women mechanics on the job and in the supervisory roles. So we wanted to make sure that our characters are representative of our whole workforce.
Very cool. And so once you've made those characters, how are you using them at Otis?
So we did a pilot test. We're looking at a new LMS. And with the new LMS, we piloted in September. And what we're looking to do is create shorter learning bursts delivered through the LMS. We're looking to go from longer training in PDFs or PowerPoints into shorter, more interesting, more engaging, more stimulating videos. So we wanted to have characters that we could actually use to create a story, so it wasn't just words on a page like they have today.
Right.
So we use the characters to make the information come more alive than they've had in the past.
Yeah, I think that's such a huge point. Characters tell a better story. It's just that simple. So, but
Absolutely.
here's what people really want to know. What was the reaction? How did your colleagues react to these new videos you made with these new characters?
We got really, really good feedback from the pilot that we did. We had 8 weeks of training that we created with several topics each week, and so we used the characters to do a variety of different things and do a variety of different scenes. So we had several scenes where several characters were working around an elevator pit or working near elevator doors. So mechanics could relate to the characters that we were using, and they could relate to the scenarios that we were presenting in training. Overwhelmingly, the feedback was positive. They liked that it was shorter. They liked that it was more succinct. They liked that it was more engaging. They overall liked it. So we got really good feedback. They said that they would like to have more of this training, of this style training, that they liked it better than the PDF. They liked it better than the PowerPoint. They wanted to use it in conjunction with their their remote in-person training that they do. And they really got a lot out of it, I think.
Amazing. Yeah, and one of the things that when we were speaking earlier, last week, you mentioned, and I think it's super, super key when you're telling a good story and when you're presenting information visually in a way people can really connect with, employees report retaining that information better and being able to apply it in their jobs, right? Those scenarios that they're seeing in the video look just like the world they're in, and it just makes it so much more powerful. So, Holly, I hope you can stay on the line with us because we're about to dive in to the studio live, and we're going to. I'm just going to get out of my presentation here. This is the fun part, and I hope if anybody has in the audience has any questions at all or anything like that, please do put those in. We're going to have time for Q&A as soon as we're done in the studio. So I know that Shoshi's going to keep an eye on those for us here, and we're going to be able to get to those when we can. So right here, I'm in the Powtoon workspace. So this should be familiar to anyone. Of course, you can go over to my Powtoons and see the Powtoons that you've already created. We have our Learning Center where you can see tutorials and webinars, connect to our blog, and of course our apps and integrations are all available there. But the thing we're here to talk about right here, build your branded character. You can do this right here. There's a wizard. It takes you step by step. We're going to do this together. So tell me, Holly, should I create a female character or a male character?
I think you should create a male character.
All right. I'm into it. Next. Soon, we are still developing this, and by the way, this is still a beta feature, but we're adding functionality to it all the time. Currently, there's just one body type available, but there will be different diverse frames available very soon. So we're going to go with the one that we have here. And something that it's here for your convenience are these presets, right? Characters that sort of give you a starting point. If you don't want to start something totally from scratch, this is a nice way to kind of get into the ballpark and then work on things from there. So are any of these presets exciting to you? Anybody in the audience there have any preference? What do we think? And what's beautiful about this too, you can see that there are some very realistic kind of looking characters, some that are a little more representative, right? People don't have blue skin, people don't have gray skin, but maybe if those are your brand colors, that could be something that works, etc. So what do you guys think? Which one of these presets should we choose?
I see Hannah says the guy with the beard on the left.
Well, on the guy with the beard on the left. That's got to be this guy. He's on the left.
I think so.
Boom. So here's our preset. Now, again, this is one of these more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of these more representative characters. Let's actually. I like everything about this preset except for that. So we're just going to go ahead and click skin tone right here. Here are the basic colors. A kind of color palette that's here. If I don't see what I want, I can go to advanced and I can drag this around and I can play with the colors. I can even enter a hex code if I have one. And of course, my colors, if I have any colors saved in Powtoon, then I've got those available there as well. But let's go ahead and there we go. Yes, I think so. We're going to go with this skin tone. And now let's customize the face a little bit. So here are our options: head, hair, eyes, nose, mouth. We're going to start with the head. We have different shapes available to us. And as you can see, some of them have beards, some of them do not. And we can adjust all of this, different chin sizes, different face shapes. So this is just an entirely new level of customization, something that we really didn't have available before. Looking at hair, you know, all sorts of different styles here, things that are a little more wavy. That's the one I use when I make
like the Johnny Bravo look.
like this one, this one, this one, this one. What do you guys think? This one?
So many,
This
so
one?
many options.
This one? This one? Let's go with this one. I think we're going to go with this one. All right, eyes. Now, this character doesn't have eyes, of course, because we chose that very representative rather than literal starting point, but we can add that. We can add eyes, this shaped eyes or this shaped eyes, something a little more cartoony. We have different eyebrows we can add to it
We
as
have
well.
we have a request
Mhm.
from Liz from Minnesota to maybe give him a little bit of a darker skin tone.
Absolutely. In fact, if you decide partway through customizing a character that you want to do that, just go ahead and head back to basics. Skin tone is right here. And we could do that or that or that.
Cool.
How about that? Liz, does that work? I hope that works.
Yes.
Awesome. Very good.
Alicia says, thanks for the diversity of hair.
Oh, yeah. Lots of
Yeah.
that. We'll see a few more options as well for that. So hair, and we were talking eyes, kind of like these eyes. And of course, you can play with the eye color as well, right? All these there. And it, just like before, you can even add anything you want. If we want to give them red eyes, we could give them red eyes, green eyes, blue eyes, kind of purplish eyes, or, brown eyes. All of
The
these
world is your oyster.
all of these presets are there as well. It's, a simple set of elements, the color, the shape, etc. But you can change those infinitely, customize them infinitely. Nose is really fun, and this is where, especially if you're trying to make a character that matches a real person, this is kind of where a lot of the magic happens. The face shape, the nose shape, this is kind of where you can really make somebody.
It really adds that personality.
It does, and it can really connect, the character you're creating to a real character you might be, a real person you might be referencing, or can just give you that additional set of versatile things to add. So I think I kind of like this one, this one, this one. What do you guys think? This one, A or B? A, B, A, B. What do we think?
I'm thinking B.
B. We're sticking with B. And then mouth. So here, of course, if we wanted to have a mustache, we wanted to have a different kind of beard, we didn't want to have a goatee at all, different lips, all of these options here for us. I think I kind of like the goatee, actually. I'm kind of feeling the goatee. I think that's, but again, any one of these, you can jump back, change it around, do what you like. It's all up to you, and it's easy to change back if you decide, no, you know what, actually like those eyes to begin with. Boom, just like that. Now, let's pick the outfit. Now, Holly, you mentioned it was really important for you guys to have, the appropriate gear, this sort of thing. We can change the other layers, right? Like, let's take off this underlayer. Well, nope, that's probably not what we want. Let's give him a shirt underneath. There we go.
Cool.
And what you might be seeing here is everybody sees these icons. Any one of these pieces of clothing that includes this icon allows you, with an agency plan, to upload your own logo. So it's so simple. You click that plus button, you can upload an image. I'm just going to go to my downloads because I happen to have Otis's logo handy. And as you can see, let me Let me fix
A
that.
bit big.
Let me bring that
Not a problem.
there, and we can see it there. But if you know what, if we wanted to do a different look, here, let's take that off, and then boom, on the t-shirt, he's got it available in the t-shirt as well. And we could even change these
I'm
around.
I'm loving these clothes. I have to say, some of these clothes weren't here like just last week. So
Yeah,
for everyone, we're getting some great feedback in the comments of different things you'd love to see. And I just want to let you all know this is just, as you can see here, it says beta release. This is such a new feature. We're so excited about it. And this is really just the beginning. We're adding so many more hair options and clothing options. And, this is really just the beginning. We can only go up from here. So this is very exciting.
yeah. And again, it's really just about playing around and finding that one. Here's something a little more formal. And of course, you can also, all these little color palettes adjust different components of the shirt. So if we wanted to actually make this like a black shirt and make his tie white, we could do that.
Super customizable.
And really, it's limitless, the possibilities. But we could also do, right, this guy, and then let's change the color something a little closer to that brand. Or actually, what we could do is we could do white shirt, which is going to go best with that logo, and then let's customize his pants. That blue for Otis. So now we got the brand colors, we've got the Otis logo, right? But maybe this isn't quite right. Maybe we want to see him in these pants. Again, I can just change the color, slightly different look. These, I can change the colors. There's, again, so many different options. More will be added as we go. Of course, footwear, maybe he wants to wear work boots.
As you can see, you could get totally lost
I
in
mean, like
this.
you could
It's
do
just
this. You could do this for hours. I'm telling you. You could really, if you wanted to, or
all day.
you could just go, with a preset, add a couple of customizations. Here we go. We want him with his Otis hard hat and safety goggles. Boom. I
Nick,
think
we got a question about
yes,
masks.
yes,
Do we have an option for masks? For sure
right
in
here.
time of Corona, yeah.
Yes,
Can we see what that mask looks like? There
boom.
you go.
Just like that with a mask. And again, easy to customize, easy to add, and all of that good stuff. This is the color, so you can play also with the color of the mask, ladies and gentlemen. Everything is
Amazing.
customizable. It's wonderful stuff. We're going to finish, and when you're finishing, then you have a chance to name your character, and you can cycle through a preview in a few of the different looks that are available. But we'll just call this Otis with a mask. Save, and it'll just take a moment to save into your Powtoon studio. We will open up here in a moment. Once it's ready, we're going to show you where your characters live in the studio and how easy it is then to start using these characters in videos. Character saved, grab it in the studio. Now you're done creating your character, use it in Powtoon. Edit in studio. So this is going to open up the Powtoon studio. If you're not familiar with Powtoon yet, if you haven't used it, this is where the magic happens. Just gonna make this background a different color so we can kind of see our character a little more clearly. Once you've got your character, click characters, my characters. All of the characters you create are saved in your my characters folder. You can start a new character from here inside the studio if you like. You can also use that button. Really, really handy. The other thing you can do, and this is something I think it's really important to show people if you're feeling maybe a little overwhelmed by starting entirely from scratch, or you just need, listen, I don't need to worry about all these details. I just want to be able to add our logo to a character. These three families, Cosmo, Rhapsody, and Boho, all work with the character builder. So let's take a Boho character. And so we've got this character. By the way, all of these characters come with like a couple dozen different poses and animations.
Yeah, I think it's like 30 or more poses for
all
these.
sorts of different things. She could be taking a selfie. She could be shrugging. I don't know. She could be sitting and thinking. She could be walking. She could be typing up in the air or writing up on a board. She could be scared. Oh no. And she could be laughing. Oh yes. All of these poses are available for any of these characters. And if you want to edit one of these characters, I'm sorry, I don't want to leave her sad. Let's make her happy. See this icon right here, edit character. And in fact, you can also do that to update characters you've made from scratch as well. So edit character, I'm going to open that, and it's going to open up something very familiar to us here, is the character builder interface. If I just want to mess with the clothing, if I just want to, you know what I want to do? I want to get rid of this. I want to change to this top so that I can upload a logo. Again, so easy.
I see where you're going with this, Nick.
You see where I'm going with this. And I think, where did that Otis one go? It starts with an O. Here we go. Boom.
There it is.
Again, just resize so that it shows up. Save. Boom. There we go. So if you want to just for a moment or two pull up a character that already exists to add your branding and then move on with your life, and you don't have all day to spend having fun in the character builder, that's okay, because you can have fun directly in the studio creating your video with your newly customized character. Now, one thing I just want to dive in and show you guys is how easy it is then to put your character into action in a video template. So right here, you can see our professionally designed templates. We're just gonna take this one here, edit this template, and that will open it up in edit mode in the studio. Edit mode is a streamlined way to very quickly edit templates. So the entire library that we just saw a moment ago, that's not open, and the timeline's not open, but you can simply swap characters, customize the text. The results are in. I'm just going to customize this text here. The marketing department.
We actually just did this, so you all know. We had a quarterly report. That's what Powtoon does every quarter. We do, every team shows what our team's been up to, and Nick made an amazing Powtoon showing, you know, what were the results from the last quarter, and he made custom characters for our entire team. It was fantastic. It was so much fun.
And that's who I've swapped in here. Myself and Shoshi swapped in for the characters that were the placeholders here. All of a sudden, you know, this, you can double click here, insert your logo. Let's see what kind of, here's Otis, more Otis. We're going to pretend we work for Otis. And if it's not quite right, just resize that. Come on. There you go. Boom.
Perfect.
So there we go. The results are in the marketing department. Here's Nick and Shoshi, and maybe the logos don't totally match, but as you can see, this is so simple to go in and just swap those characters out. Now you've got your characters in a professionally designed video, ready to go. Update the text, swap out those characters, put in your logo, and you're ready to export.
Gorgeous.
You can. So that is fast. That is fast video creation. That is easy video creation. And not only that, but it's true visual communication, right? Telling a story, connecting with your audience, doing it with the character builder. It is, I'm so excited about it.
Characters.
And like Shoshi said, like, you know, I really have getting prepared for this webinar and working on the marketing team's report that we did last week. I've spent a lot of time in character builder over the last week and a half or so. And I want to tell you, it is really fun. I mean, really fun, especially when you're working on creating a version of someone that's a real person. I've really enjoyed that as well. So, but this brings us back to our presentation. Shoshi, before we get to Q&A, you've got the 5 easy ways to use custom characters. Start us off with number 1. What's the easiest way to use custom characters?
Yeah, this is the lightning round, people. So the number 1 is HR and internal comms messages that can be used for inclusive holidays and observances. So whether it's an announcement or programming you're having for holidays or just well wishes, super easy. Create custom characters to represent those populations and the inclusive and diverse programming that you have. Such an easy way to really visually represent your employees.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Absolutely.
the first one.
What's number 2?
Number 2 is employee onboarding. So visual representation really can create a softer landing and a really strong feeling of belonging for newcomers. If they see themselves, as Nick said at the beginning, those connection cues really help to make them feel at home.
Yeah, and I want to dive in here and get. Sorry to interrupt, Shoshi. I know this wasn't in the script,
Yeah, sure.
but I have a really great example. I was speaking with Victoria Ratcliffe, who works for the Crown Commercial Service, and she mentioned to me in their onboarding, they've got some regional offices, and one of the ways they were incorporating diversity is they were having different folks in the different regional offices do the voiceover for the onboarding in those offices, right? I don't know if you know this, in the UK, regional accents can be very different, and they're very distinct as well. So not only can you do it with custom characters, but you can also insert some diversity, some geographical diversity, some accent diversity with your voiceovers as well. That's a little bonus tip, not on this list. Shoshi, what's number 3? You're on mute.
Sorry about that. I was muted there for a hot second. So we are back. Number 3 is social media and PPC content. So you want to represent your target audience, whether that's for your employer brand, your consumer brand. You are going to want to create characters that look like your audience. That will be totally scroll stopping, really make an impact when someone's scrolling through their feed, to see themselves in a video and say, what is that? I have to watch it. So definitely worth doing that.
Number 4,
we have training videos and micro learning content. So really, case in point, showing characters in action can help bring those training scenarios to life. As Holly already mentioned, it works for her, it could work for you. Just an amazing way to really represent your employees, really in helping them to upskill.
Absolutely. And finally, number 5.
We already talked about Nick's quarterly report for us at Powtoon, and you can do that too. It's an amazing way to do data storytelling, to have data visualization, show the characters, show the audiences, and really represent both through numbers and through characters that are inclusive, what your story is, what happened, and what you plan to do next. So really great way
I love it. And I also want to remind everybody, there are professionally designed and easy to customize video templates for every one of these categories and more in Powtoon. So all you need to do is sign up and enjoy that. Now it's time. We've made it to Q&A. So I hope that you guys have Q's. We've got tons of A's. We can't wait to share them with you. I hope, Shoshi, I know that you've been keeping an eye on some of the questions that have been coming in, but if anybody has other questions, please do jump in, put them in the question box. We can't get to everyone, but we're going to try to get to as many as we can. We also still have Holly on the line. If people have questions for Holly, we're happy to, or I hope Holly is happy to answer those as well. So Shoshi, what do we have? What's our first question?
First question, which is a bit of a housekeeping question, is from Grizel, asks, are we going to get a copy? And the answer is yes. We are going to be sending all of you lovely people the replay of this webinar tomorrow within the next 24 hours.
Fear
so
not.
You'll have them soon to review, send to your colleagues. Yeah, we really hope you do rewatch, share, and apply it and put it in action. So thank you for that. Betty says gracias. We say gracias to you, Betty.
Yes,
thank you so much for coming.
Gracias for coming, and de nada. We're happy to provide some value for you. I just also want, this is less of a question, more of a comment, but Hisham said, this is good. I am a lecturer and this could help me. Absolutely. Whether you're, doing training and L&D like Holly is, whether you're a lecturer, right, in a university or teaching remotely, or whether you're doing HR, IT, L&D, marketing, right, social media, if you simply just want to grab a little bit of attention with a communication that's off the beaten path, this could help you for sure. What other questions do we have here as well?
We had a question here from, I'm trying to see who had asked it, but somebody asked, what plans is this available to, the custom character builder? So the answer to that is to get full character customization that is available on our agency plan. So that is the answer to that. Yep. If you're looking, as Nick showed earlier, to just change the clothing, change the colors of the clothes, that is available on our Pro Plus plan.
Right.
So
Exactly. This is a great question
that is the
from
answer to that.
This is a great question from Todd. Todd Carter, who's writing in. He says, as a former for-profit consumable goods marketing executive, I now work in the nonprofit sector to house homeless individuals and families. Any best practices for using Powtoon for nonprofit marketing? I see this as an avenue to help destigmatize homelessness. Well, first of all, Todd, really awesome work you're doing, and please keep it up. It's one of the most amazing things in the world to be able to see problems in your community and to be able to address it very easily. Sorry, just one moment. So anyway, the answer to your question, and I worked for a period in nonprofit as well. I worked with college students doing community activism for a couple of years in the United States. And, to me, I think marketing in any, whether it's nonprofit, for profit, it's telling a good story. It's speaking to your audience. Now, in the case of traditional marketing, your audience might have pain that you're looking to solve, right? They've got pain points or problems that are plaguing them, and they want to solve them. The difference here is a little bit about the difference in nonprofit between stakeholders and recipients of aid, right? Or the program, the people who are part of the programs that you run. So in the case of, like B2C marketing, I'm marketing to the person who's going to pay for this thing. In the case of nonprofit marketing, you have kind of two things. You need to market to the community you serve so you can educate them to know what's available and how they can take advantage of it. That's one component of your marketing. And then the other piece is to tell the story of your nonprofit to inspire the donors that are going to keep the funds coming in, that keep your lights on and keep your mission accomplished. So, Todd, the answer is you got to get into the heads of your audience. And I think that part of that is about reaching who you serve. And another part about that is reaching the people that are inspired to support your work. I hope that's listen. This is a really great question. Nonprofit marketing is an important topic, especially I think as we've seen in the last year, the financial difficulties that people are facing, other things that have really upended a lot of things we kind of all took for granted for a long time. It's important that organizations can step in to that gap. So Todd, thank you so much. I hope that answers your question. Do we have what we got? I think we got time for one more here. Shoshi, what do you think? What's the last question? We've got so many questions here. I'm so sorry for
so many
everybody we won't get
questions.
to. Go ahead.
This one is from Susan. She asks, how could I use character builder in explainer videos for the general public and for health professionals? That's a great question. I have to say, in our huge template library, we have hundreds of templates, and in 2020, as soon as Corona hit, we created an explainer video that talked all about Corona health and safety, and it shot up our data charts as to be the #1 template used. We had translated into, I think, 7 or 9 languages, and so there's definitely a lot of people who are using Powtoon and are using the character builder for that. As Nick showed you, we have masks. We also have surgical kind of caps that you can use. So different kinds of scrubs you can create for health professionals, which is really amazing and a great way to kind of showcase who you are and create explainer videos about what it is that your organization does, whether that's public or private, and show what it is that you're doing for the community and educate your community. As Nick mentioned, also for how they can stay safe and how they can really improve their health and the health of those around them.
Yeah, and I also just want to add into that, not only using the characters that match that is important, we also have a number of scenes, those like sort of pre-designed slides that you can find under the scenes area in the library, in the Powtoon studio. There are some specifically designed medical scenario scenes in there as well. So not only are the templates available that could be appropriate, of course, the characters that you can build with the PPE and the appropriate garb, but also context, settings, like a medical room or a waiting room at a doctor's office, all these sorts of things. There's all sorts of resources there that you can put into action in just one click. All right, we've been live here for 45 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We're at the end of our time together. But I do, before we end, I really want to thank all of you guys I want to thank Shoshi for being my co-host. Thank you, Holly, so much.
Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Nick.
You're welcome.
Thanks for
You're
sharing
welcome.
your expertise, for showing us your characters, for showing us how you put it into action and sharing the reaction, the impact that you are having at Otis. It is really inspiring. Thank you to everyone in the audience who joined us today. Your questions were awesome. Your energy was awesome. You're out there making a difference in this world, and you're going to do it visibly. You know, after all, I like to say, if you want to communicate diversity, you've got to communicate visually with Powtoon, the visual communication platform. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day and rest of your week. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.